Tottenham 3, Crystal Palace 1. Tottenham walk away with 3 points and 3 goals in a game that they really didn't perform very well in until basically the 75th minute on, the last 15 minutes of the game. Welcome into Top of the Perch. I am your host, as always, Nick Burke. It was a difficult game, to say the least, today. We facing off against Crystal Palace. The Roy Hodgson era ended 2 weeks ago. They bring in Oliver Glasner. He was a former manager of Eintracht Frankfurt. Won the Europa League with them 2 years ago, I believe it was, 2022. He's so-called, very good, high press, attacking type manager. All I saw today was 2 hours of parking the bus from Crystal Palace. I don't know where this whole he's an attacking manager came from. I know they scored, I think it was 3 or 4 last week, something like that. This week it was not that. It was very much not that. It was a disgusting game of football to watch, especially because Tottenham controlled the game so much and couldn't get much out of it. I mean, it was just so bad. Crystal Palace had an opportunity, I believe, within the first minute. It was a Jordan Ayew, I think, shot from outside the box. It went high and wide to the left. That was truly, really one of the only attacking opportunities they had in the first half. I know they had a few other shots that were outside of the box and just wide. Vicario really wasn't working much today, just given the way Palace was playing. Tottenham were controlling possession no matter what this game, and it was going to be a somewhat easier day for the back line. You just had to make sure you didn't concede and made sure your players get the goals. That was going to be the goal. First major opportunity of the game for Tottenham, it was a Son through ball to Timo Werner, who was getting a start today because Richarlison was out. So Son moved up top. Werner moved into Son's position on the left. Son gets him a through ball. He is on a breakaway. It's only him and the goalkeeper. And he could have shot so many times and found the back of the net. No, what does he do? He tries to round the keeper. And of course, the keeper's going to dive at it. He grabs the ball, and there goes our first big wasted opportunity of the game. It should be 1-0, but instead we're sitting here, and it's still 0-0. And I believe that was like in the 20th minute, right around there. So it was just one of those games. You felt like you had to capitalize on any opportunity you get attacking-wise, just because they were going to park the bus no matter what. Even though you were going to control possession, you'd have to find a way to make something of that possession. They didn't do much with it, especially in the first half. Like I said, it was kind of just a foul fest. Most of the first half, it just seemed like foul, 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 foul. And then, here's a corner. Oh, here's an attacking opportunity, foul. Let's move on a little, foul. It was just a lot of fouls in the first half. So we go into the half tied 0-0. It was just a difficult half. Tottenham, they registered 82% of the possession in the first half, but they only got 0.14 expected goals out of that 82%, which is just mind-boggling. When Crystal Palace only had 18%, and they were at 0.20 on the expected goals, and just it says how poor the first half was played from Tottenham. It was just not good at all. It was like you have to find an attacking threat in these games, and you had to find a way to get a goal here. Like I said, they had the opportunity with Werner. He didn't capitalize. It was just amazing how bad that was. I don't know. So we moved on. We moved into the second half. 50. We're getting right around the 60th minute. Bentancur fouls right outside the box. Crystal Palace is gonna have a free kick in a dangerous position. Eze, he steps up for the free kick, puts it in the back of the net. It's 1-0 to Palace. It was a beautiful goal. Vicario couldn't have done anything about it. It was top corner. Just beautiful shot. He's going to look very good in lily white next season, hopefully. But you saw that go in the back of the net, and you're like, oh no. We're going to lose this game 1-0, even though we had 90% possession, and it's the Tottenham of old. That was the feeling. But as we continued on, subs were made. Brendan Johnson brought on in the 63rd minute, hoping for a little bit of an attacking threat. He brought off Bentancur, who kind of threw up a stinker once again. I'm not out on Bentancur yet, but he's thrown up some stinkers this calendar year. I mean, we've played a handful of games, 6-7 in 2024, and he hasn't been great in most of them. So we keep moving on. We keep getting attacking threats. We're trying to find that just game time goal, and we get to the 77th minute. It is Timo Werner right in the center of the box with a beautiful cross from Brendan Johnson. Werner puts it in the back of the net. It is 1-1. Just pandemonium. We get a tying goal, and finally feels like that was coming, just given all the attacking threats that they've had in this game. And, it was now time to find a second. That was evident with Werner's celebration. He was looking for somebody to celebrate with, and everybody was just headed right back to, the halfway line to get play restarted so we can chase that, the 2-1 goal, I should say. And it came rather quickly. Christian Romero, a header in the box, assisted by James Maddison, puts it in the back of the net. It is 2-1 Tottenham. 4-5 minutes ago, Tottenham were down 1-0. They're now up 2-1. And just, like I said, it felt like it was coming most of the game with the attacking opportunities they had. But it also didn't feel like it was coming because nobody on this team seemed to have any type of finishing skill in this game. Christian Romero gets his 4th goal on the season. I believe that is tied atop for the most for a defender, which that's saying something. He had a really good game today. And then it was the 88th minute. Son gets an assist from Johnson again, puts it in the back of the net. It's 3-1 Tottenham. And that's where we end up finishing out. Again, it's a game that Tottenham controlled possession-wise, start to finish. Play-wise, not so much. They get 3 goals in the last 15, gets them the victory in this one. So let's take a look at the stats. They are as lopsided as you would assume they are. 78% possession total from Tottenham in this game. 14 shots on net compared to Crystal Palace's 4. And only one of those was on target, and that was the goal. Compared to Tottenham's 6. Shots in the box, 12 for Tottenham, 2 out of the box, where it was a 2-2 split on the Crystal Palace side. Expected goals, Tottenham sat at 1.91 compared to the 0.32 from Crystal Palace. Tottenham, they had the amount of opportunities in this game. They just couldn't convert, really. Passes, 818 for Tottenham. A merely 226 for Crystal Palace. 732 of those being completed passes for Tottenham for an 89% accuracy rate. Only a 70% accuracy rate for Crystal Palace as they ended up with 158. Fouls, like I said, the first half really was a foul fest. 7 for Tottenham, 16 for Crystal Palace. 2 yellow cards for Palace came out of that. Only the one on Bentancur was on the Tottenham side. The corner disparity was something else today. 11-1 in favor of Tottenham. I mean, like I said, with the number of expected goals, you look at the shots, you look at the corners. Tottenham had all the opportunities in the world in this game. They just truly couldn't convert for 75% of the game. So given that, as always, we'll now dive into the player ratings for this game. We start up top with Son, who replaces a injured Richarlison. He gets a 8.6. I give him man of the match. He had the goal in the 88th minute. Very, very good performance from Son today. You can't complain much. It seems like when he plays up top, he's more of a focus in this team and he plays better. I'd argue that I think that's where he should go. But I know we still have Richarlison, and I don't know what you would do with our Richarlison if you put Son in. I like Johnson and I like Werner. I think they're both better coming off the bench options than they are starters. Like just Werner, he we'll get to him in a second, but it was a good performance from Son today. Earns the 8.6, high scoring player on the team from migrating today with the 1 goal. I know it was kind of garbage time-ish, but still a very important goal because goal differential is going to matter sooner rather than later. Timo Werner earns an 8.2. He had the game-tying goal in the 77th minute. He probably could have been higher today. The decision to try to round the keeper, I don't understand it, honestly. I really don't understand it. Just take a shot anywhere, and you're most likely getting past the keeper. He didn't do that. I know in the end it truly didn't end up mattering given that Tottenham got a 3-1 victory, but I mean, you got to be better than that. You really do. That's the truth of it. Kulusevski earns a 7.6. It wasn't a terrible performance. It wasn't outstanding, but still very decent, I would say. James Maddison earns an 8.3. I thought he had his first real good performance in about a month. I don't know if that's because Son's up front. I don't know if it's just he was playing better positioning-wise today, going up against this Palace team. Could be any of those factors. Earns the 8.3. He did have the assist on the Romero goal. Very good performance from him today. Bissouma comes very close to earning an 8, but he had a very good performance today. I feel like we haven't seen a performance like that from him in a while. It was very much needed. He's a key part of this team because somebody's always going to be left out of this midfield with what we have right now with Maddison, Bissouma, Bentancur, and Sarr. Today, Sarr was that man out. They put Bentancur in. Kind of would expect it to be Bissouma, Sarr, Maddison next week. But, I mean, we'll see what happens with that when we cross that bridge. But, I mean, very good performance from Bissouma today. On the other side of it, Bentancur, not so great. Like I said, He's kind of been throwing up a few stinkers these past few weeks. He hasn't been outstanding. He hasn't truly got back to that form he was at before the ACL tear or Achilles tear, whichever one it was. He truly hasn't got back to that form. If we can get him back to that form, he's going to be a very good player. I still haven't seen it happen, so that does worry me a bit, which is why I think he's probably going to end up being benched next week and moving Sarr back up. But, I mean, overall, it wasn't a great performance today from Bentancur. Udogie earns a 7.5. He's back in the lineup after, I believe it was injury last week. It was a small injury, replaced by Ben Davies. He earns 7.5, getting back to where he was, but very good performance from him. That is his position, so you'd expect better than we saw last week, and that is what we got. These back two, Van de Ven and Romero. What a performance from these two. They both earn an 8.4 because they were kind of indistinguishable in their own ways. Van de Ven defending, my gosh, what a performance from him today. Defending, just outstanding. Just what a great player he is. I'm so glad we spent the money on him because he is turning out to be the real deal. He's such a great player. Romero gets that goal that put him ahead 2-1. His defending's still quite good, but man, oh man, what a performance from Van de Ven. Yep. Just what a performance. And then we get Royale, who's still stepping in for Porro, who seems to still be out for another week or two. It sounds like he's still up in the air for next week, which I feel like we're going to need him next week. But Royale steps in, does pretty well, earns a 7.7. Vicario earns a 7.1. Wasn't truly tested today that much. The goal couldn't really do much about, which sucks because I wish he could have. Then we could have got a clean sheet, but he couldn't really do much about it. So he earned 7.1. Taking a look at the subs, Brendan Johnson, the only one getting scored sub-wise today because everything else came after the 80th minute, which is the cutoff for me at least. Johnson earns an 8.1. What a performance coming off the bench today. He is a special player. Has the 2 assists, the one game tying and the one to put us up 3-1. He is just such a great player. It does seem like you don't see it as much when he starts, but when he comes off the bench, he is a super sub type player. I think he's still developing into his own. I'm excited to see where this goes because he is just what a player. Sarr, Højbjerg brought on in the 82nd minute. Dane Scarlett gets an appearance alongside Giovanni Lo Celso. They get subbed on in stoppage time. Postecoglou, he earns an 8 in this game. I thought, given the injury to Richarlison, I thought he lined this up as well as we could have, putting Son up top and Werner on the left. Bringing in Udogie back in, I should say, kind of no-brainer. So overall, a very, very good performance from Tottenham Hotspur today. So given that, Tottenham still sit 5th in the league. They're 2 or 3 points out of 4th place, I should say, right now. And next week, boy, it's a real 6-pointer, especially since they're going up against 4th place Aston Villa. It's at Villa Park, which is going to make it even more difficult. That's going to be next Sunday. That's going to be a tough game. So that is going to wrap it up for this edition of Top the Perch. Thank you so much for watching. If you just stumbled across this video after Tottenham Hotspur's victory, well, if you enjoyed it, you might as well subscribe, because there are going to be losses down the road. I can guarantee you that. And the content probably will be better from those than they are from a win. So you might as well subscribe. Click like if you liked it. Tell anybody you know about it. We will be back next Sunday, to recap that Aston Villa game, which really could have a big determining factor on where Tottenham Hotspur are going to finish this season, and if they are going to finish top 4. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again soon for another episode of Top of the Perch.